Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Optimus Fantasy Football channel here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. We're all the places for you on Sunday morning. Help you set those lineups for Week 8 of Fantasy Football. I'm Nate Polvogt. I am joined by my co-host, the one and only Mr. Lou Brunson. Lou, how's everything over in the Pacific Northwest, my friend?
Oh, it's getting windy, getting rainy, all that lovely fall in the Pacific Northwest. It's beautiful, man. I dig this, even if other people don't, it's cozy, feels like home.
We went to this new beer garden place in our town last night, and it was 74 degrees. I was sitting there in shorts in October in Colorado. It's wild. This will be the first time in like 15 years we haven't gotten snow in October. Fun fact.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's warm. It's very warm.
Things are super normal. It's great.
Woohoo! I love it. I'm actually ready for the cold. I wish we'd get some damn snow. We'll get there though. But what we're also going to get to, folks, are your start-sit questions for this Week 8 slate. It's a weird one. We've got a lot going on to talk about. We're going to get to the injuries and the inactives coming up here in a minute, but I want to get to this first question in the chat, Lou. We've got Jason Williams, 8393 on YouTube. He's got a pair for us. He wants to know if he should drop Elic Aomanor for Josh Downs. He has Drake London, who is questionable, that we just talked about right before the show. Other usable flex options for Jason are Jerry Jeudy, Elic Aomanor, and Tony Pollard. He does have an IR spot to use if he needs it. Don't know that anybody on this list here is going to qualify for an IR spot unless Drake London is ruled out. But yes, Lou, I would drop Elic Aomanor for Josh Downs. I like Elic Aomanor, but he's in a much worse offense. Josh Downs is going to get volume. He's a favorite target of Daniel Jones if he's healthy. And I don't think Drake London's going to play necessarily today. And if he does, I don't think it's going to be necessarily good.
Yeah, I agree that Josh Downs is a worthy pickup based on this list. I actually have a different theory here. I actually think you can drop Jerry Jeudy. I don't see any situation where you would ever want to start him. And I could see, I don't expect it, but I could see a situation where the Titans get the dead cat bounce now that the bad coach is out, kind of like the Bears did last year once they said goodbye to Matt Eberflus, as our friend Barely Fantasy in the chat here knows all too well. I could see a kind of not a breakout, but at least a rebound, a usable sort of thing for Aomanor. And I don't want anything to do with Jerry Jeudy. If I'm starting him, my season is already over and it doesn't matter anyways.
Yeah, Jerry Judy's a problem. He's just not good.
Right.
It's why Denver just kind of was like, bye. Don't let the door hit you.
And like our friend and colleague Kevin Tompkins says, it's, Jameis Winston made Jerry Jeudy relevant with Cleveland, and people have that in their mind, but we need to move past that with him.
Yeah. What's his peak season in the NFL? He was wide receiver 12 last season because of Jameis Winston, right? Otherwise, he's been wide receiver 50, wide receiver 22 in 2022, wide receiver 85, and then wide receiver 47. He's wide receiver 58 this year. Yeah, and I want to put this in here from Barely. Broncos fans tried to warn Browns fans. We really did. But then there was also this thought of, okay, maybe, grass is greener on the other side. Maybe he just needed the change of scenery. Maybe a new system's going to be better for him. Nope, that was not the case.
Cleveland has never been that grass is greener, good system sort of thing either, though, is part of the problem.
Right. I mean, is there hope for Jerry Jeudy in the future? Sure. But if I have him in Dynasty, I'm moving way off of him. I don't want anything to do with him. You never know. Look, Cordarrelle Patterson broke out in his 30s, man. Anything's freaking possible.
As a what?
Back. As a running back. Yeah, all right. Kind of like the Rod Bernstein route. If y'all are old enough to remember Rod Bernstein, former tight end turned running back. Played for the Chargers. He played for the Chargers for a long time. Then he moved to running back, but he wore number 88. This is back in the late 80s and early 90s. And he came to Denver for a handful of seasons and wore 33. But that was always a fun one, seeing him in that 88. Rust Bombs on Twitch. Should I start Juwan Jennings, Tez Johnson, or Jalen Noel? I'm going to immediately cross out Jalen Noel here. I like that he's getting more work in this Houston offense. And I know Nico Collins is out, but I still don't trust that Noel's going to be the one who gets the volume. I feel like it's Jaden Higgins. I would rather go Juwan Jennings here, and I know it's a little bit risky because he's still dealing with those broken ribs, but Ricky Pearsall's out. So I feel like there's a chance that Jennings could see some volume. Tez Johnson is the other one I kind of like, but he's risky. You need a touchdown out of him for him to be valuable.
Yeah, I really like Noel as a hold. He started showing some things, and I think he needs to be getting more work than he is getting. And I don't trust Houston's offensive coordinator, DeMeco Ryans, or offensive line is really what it comes down to. But I think he makes for a very good hold, and I understand where you're coming from with the question, and I think you have a good thought process. I do have Juwan Jennings and Tez Johnson in the same tier. So, I mean, it really comes down to gut feel at that point. If you feel strongly the opposite way of me, I'm not going to hold it against you. It's valid. I do have Jennings a little higher because I think his volume is going to be a little bit more consistent. And Baker Mayfield is a better enough quarterback than Mac Jones. Like, we've seen the wheels starting to come off of Mac Jones, and he be like the Mac Jones that we know, and the one that got booted from the Patriots. Like, we're starting to see that. He has limitations, a lot of them, as a quarterback.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield is Baker Mayfield. He stared the daggers at Tez Johnson last week. I have no doubt that Tez Johnson has been studying his playbook and where he's supposed to be when he's supposed to be there.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a matchup specific question a bit more for me. If you need you have to have a handful of points, no matter what, 3 to 5, probably not going to get 10. You go Juwan Jennings. If you need the possibility of 15 to 20, you go Tez Johnson.
Yep.
Knowing that it could be a 0.
Well, Tampa Bay's playing New Orleans. Baker Mayfield has made it very clear all week in the media that he is pissed that they lost to Detroit. And we've seen what Baker does in these games coming back from a bad loss. He lights it up. No Chris Godwin, no Mike Evans. and Emeka Egbuka is still banged up a little bit, so we don't know if he's 100%. Cade Otton, Tez Johnson. I think these are guys that could have huge games because, again, it's kind of like if we end up talking about Aaron Rodgers here, why I really like him as a start this week too. Those narratives do matter, right? And when players come out pissed and they're high-level players, things are different.
We saw it earlier this season when David Montgomery went to Cincinnati. Detroit played Cincinnati. Everyone expected Jahmyr Gibbs to have a great game, that sort of thing. But it was David Montgomery's homecoming, and boy, did he run like it! Like he was a man possessed. They fed him all that. So exactly what you're talking about, and that's very difficult to quantify, but it does alter expectations. It needs to.
It does. Rico Dowdle against the Cowboys. He was mad, man.
Oh, man.
He is real mad about the way they treated him, and he got mad, and he showed it on the field. So, all right, we've got the High Talk Sports Podcast 804 over on YouTube. That was a long one to say. Has this question for us. Terry McLaurin or Rashid Shaheed today? Ooh, I've got McLaurin a little bit higher in my rankings, but I mean, it's going to be McLaurin for me, but it could go either way. It's a toss-up.
Yeah. I do have McLaurin higher, mostly because garbage time, I think, is going to be a real thing, and volume. Like, who else is there to throw? I understand Debo, and it's really just those two, and that's it as far as pass catchers go. And Washington's going to be behind a lot. They're going to need to throw a lot. So it might not be pretty. It might be like 12 targets for 5 receptions and 50 yards and a late fourth quarter touchdown as the score gets to 37-7 sort of deal. But, Rashid Shaheed, he's going to see his 4 targets. It's still Spencer Rattler throwing the ball, so you don't really know where it's going to go when he lets it go. Neither does he. So, I mean, I have them in the same tier. you feel strongly the other way, go with your gut, and that's fine. But I still have McLaurin higher.
Here's the thing, is that McLaurin has a safer floor, right? He's going to see volume today, even if it is Marcus Mariota at quarterback. And look, man, Marcus Mariota was a first-round pick. He's not a horrible quarterback. He's just not an elite-level quarterback, right? Like, there are worse quarterbacks starting this week. Let's look at this list here. We got Kirk Cousins starting in Atlanta. We've got Tyler Huntley starting this week in Baltimore.
Again.
We've got Andy Dalton starting in Carolina. Hello, 2018. We're back. I don't hate Mariota as a pivot start this week. I'm saying that partially to make myself feel better about having no choice but to do it. But also, again, like, no, Mariota's not going to take a team to the Super Bowl, but he's a sufficient fill-in, and he can provide fantasy value to these other assets in 1 and 2 week chunks. And especially in a game against
Kansas City, if it wasn't Kansas City, I'd feel a lot better about it. Let me put it that way. But you are right. You are right.
Why are we all of a sudden worried about Kansas City? They've been bad most of the season. They played Las Vegas and blew them out, and now all of a sudden they're one of the best teams in the league. Let's pump the brakes here. I want to see them against a better team that's not Las Vegas, and I know they got Rashee Rice back, but I still think this game's going to be a lot closer than we think it's going to be. I think Washington's going to give them a hard time, even with Marcus Mariota.
I hope you're right, because I mean, you know me, I'm a Bills fan. I'm gonna hope Kansas City fades away into oblivion and all that. I really do. And I've seen this movie too many times to buy into it until they are dead, buried, credits rolling, all that. What I think they have now, with Rashee Rice back, with Xavier Worthy healthy, with a burgeoning running game, they have the ability to game script teams out of what they want to do. That's what happened last week with the Raiders, only running 30 plays because, I mean, number one, they never had the ball. Kansas City just did whatever they wanted the whole time on offense, shut them down on a handful of drives, and game's over. They have the ability to do that now, where if you're going up by 20 points early in the second half, you don't have to worry about the run. You don't care if Marcus Mariota runs for 12 yards on 3rd and 10 because they can't get to 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3, 2nd and 5. You don't have to worry about that. They're going to be throwing the ball all the time. And as we've seen in year 2 of this Cliff Kingsbury offense, it's very limited. And that's the sort of thing that Spagnuolo can scheme up against really easily, and they can feast on if it gets away from them. Again, I hope you're right. I would love to be surprised pleasantly by Washington.
Well, looking at who Kansas City has played, I know Rashee Rice is a big deal. It changes the offense. It opens things up a ton. I get that. They beat the Lions 30-17 without Rashee Rice. That was pretty impressive. That's a good Detroit team, right? Yeah. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem like that was the game that got people going. It was this Raiders game. Like, oh my God, they blew out the Raiders. Yeah, they better. You freaking better blow out the Raiders. Look, if you're a professional NFL team, you better be blowing out the team that really should be relegated to like Division III college ball.
Man,
that's expected.
Them and the Titans, right?
Right. Now, maybe Kansas City is the real deal, but here's when we're going to find out. This week they've got the Commanders, then the Bills, then the Broncos, then the Colts, then the Cowboys. This is a 5-game stretch where we find out if this team is real or if they just beat up on a bad Vegas team and caught Detroit on a bad night. I feel it's more the latter, but we'll see. I mean, we've seen one player. I mean, next week they've got the Bills. That's going to be a tough one. And Denver, regardless of how good Denver is every year, it doesn't matter. They always play Kansas City tough. Always. Especially at home. They have a little bit harder time at Arrowhead. I mean, this is a decent Denver team, too. I'm not going to say good yet. I think they might be the worst 5-2 team in the league right now, but they're here.
They're real weird, man.
It's a weird team. And this week's going to be a weird one, man. Dallas, I think it's going to be a good game. Well, Casey and I talked about it on the show Thursday. It's my favorite matchup of the week, and not necessarily even because I'm a homer, but because I think everyone wants to know what this Denver team is. And even listening to the local sports guys this week, Lou, they don't think Denver can keep up with the Cowboys. Most of the local guys here, most of the local sports people in Denver don't have high hopes for this game today.
I mean, I really think it depends on how Dallas wants to play this game. If they come out wanting to feed CeeDee Lamb now that he's healthy and recovered, and get George Pickens rolling again because he's George Pickens and a big whiny baby when he doesn't get the ball, I could see Denver like kind of just running away with it and putting the game up on the top shelf where Dallas can't reach. Conversely, if they lean into Javonte Williams, that Denver front is small enough that they can really get leaned on. And Javonte is, again, coming back to Denver, really wants to show it to him, like, you guys screwed me over. Lean into that narrative street. I could see Dallas doing the same thing, just in reverse. So I really could see it going either way. And then on top of that, there's this terrible Dallas passing defense now with Trayvon Diggs out. But Surtain can't cover everyone, and that's one of the things that drives me nuts about projections is that, or news or that sort of thing, is people will say, oh, you can't start Pickens because of Surtain, you can't start Lamb because of Surtain, you can't start Ferguson because of Surtain. Surtain is one guy, and yes, he enables the defense to play better and account schematically for the others, but he's still just one person, and you can scheme up against him. He is not the style of cornerback that thrives against a quick change of direction wide receiver like CeeDee Lamb. He's superb at shutting down wide receivers like George Pickens, on the other hand. So I'm not, with that comment specifically, I'm not as worried about Lamb this week. I think it's a fascinating matchup, like you said. I could talk about it for, I feel like, hours.
Oh, me too. The Javonte Williams aspect of it, very interesting. Because, dude, I'm sure he's mad. And he should be. Like, we went out and got J.K. Dobbins, and he's got to be looking at it like, that's who you replaced me with? Come on. I'm fine with Dobbins. I like Dobbins. I don't think Javonte Williams was going to do this in Denver. This is something he can do in Dallas, right? Like, situation matters. Right. And Dallas is much better at this run game type of thing that they're doing. So we've got this one over on YouTube. We've got Tyler Sperry 334. I don't know if it's super flex, but there's a spot where it says OP where I think it means offensive player. I'm guessing this might be fan tracks. So pick one: Marcus Mariota, Romeo Doubs, DeVonta Smith. I'm going to go DeVonta Smith. I think he has the highest upside, highest ceiling out of these three players this week.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got him as a top 6 wide receiver this week. I mean, there's no AJ Brown. Philadelphia hasn't been able to run the ball, as odd as that sounds. A lot of that has to do with their offensive line issues and being banged up. And we've seen in the past, DeVonta Smith eats when he's the only wide receiver. Like, they funnel their offense very, very much to their top 2-3 guys, and right now it's just kind of 2.5 if you throw Goedert in. And so roll out DeVonta Smith. I think Romeo Doubs is fine this week, but DeVonta Smith is so much more than fine.
Well, Dobbs has a fun ceiling, but his floor is like 2 points. So
yeah, exactly.
We're going to go to this one on Twitch, Lou. Joe Hammy mistakenly. What's up, Joe? Good to see you this morning, buddy. Thanks for tuning in. My opponent has Michael Penix. Thoughts on picking up and dropping all available QBs so he can't grab one? Dickhead move, but I need the win. I'm not going to sit here and recommend that you do something like this in your league. I mean, we're chuckling, but I wouldn't do that. I get the wanting to do it to screw your opponent, unless it's like your brother-in-law or someone who slept with your wife. I wouldn't do it. If either of those situations apply, then have at it, man. But otherwise, no, I wouldn't do that. Lou?
Okay, so I'm not cutting anyone that I want to hold on to do this. I'm not. Mm-hmm. Have I done this? Absolutely. Absolutely, I have.
All right.
It depends on what this league means to you and what you're willing to do to get the win. If you're willing to go scorched earth and be the hated one, have nobody trade with you in this league for the rest of the season, like, that's the level of dickheadiness that you have to be willing to lean into. If you're willing to do that, yes, absolutely do it. You go all out and just understand what you're signing up for if you do. I love the thought process. It's great.
It would be Fannin, but I'm not going to do it. Just wanted to have you guys chuckle. We appreciate it, man. Yeah, right. Evan over here, Lou the waiver wire jerk. Oh man, look. This is when you get into those family and work leagues. Like, I'm not saying it's personal, but it can get a little personal. Like, I've had some matchups in the past against ex-in-laws that if I lost, I wanted to freaking cry. All right, we've got J Keefe 420 over on YouTube, Lou. With Lamar out, I have to pick up a quarterback for my roster. We have a few options available on waivers. Who do I go with? The top 5 on waivers right now are Justin Fields, Marcus Mariota, Tua Tagovailoa, Jordan Love, and Aaron Rodgers in his revenge game against Green Bay. I'm going Aaron Rodgers.
Talk to us about Aaron Rodgers, because I'm not there with you and I want to hear what you have to say.
Okay, when we want to talk about people who are petty, he might be the pettiest man on the entire planet, right? He's also, as we've seen this year, he's not completely cooked. Like, some of that was just, as you and I talked about earlier in the week, some of that was just the awfulness of the Jets organization, offense, system, and so on, and just that Jets stink, right? He's playing pretty well. This is a decent Pittsburgh team. Looks like they're probably going to make the playoffs. They might be in the driver's seat in the division. Well, they are in the driver's seat in the division right now.
It's such a weird division, too.
I know, it's a weird division. He's got the parts and pieces to basically go into Green Bay and say, hey, you're bad, and just beat the hell out of them. And I think he's going to do it. I really do. Because, again, like I said, Aaron Rodgers might be the pettiest man on the planet. And I know what it feels like to, you want to get back at him. You want to say, like, hey, yeah, you shouldn't have left me for that other girl. Let me show you how much better I am still. That's what he's going to do. I can feel it, and I want in on it. I'm starting him a handful of places, and then I'm going to build some DFS lineups after this, loaded with Aaron Rodgers.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And by the way, for those of you who don't know, tools.optimusfantasy.com, we have all the ability to build DFS lineups. It is so customizable, and it lets you do things just like this to build around certain players. It's great. You need to check it out if you haven't. Anyhow, that's my show.
Yeah.
Getting back to the question here. Yeah.
Well, also, you can seek a bunch of your leagues. ESPN, MFL, Sleeper. We're working on Yahoo and CBS. We'll have those coming around next week. So Optimus Fall, 25% off the next 4 months. And now let's move on to this one here. Another one from J Keefe. Do I start Dallas Goedert with AJ Brown out or Tucker Kraft? Is tight end full PPR? I'm probably gonna go Goedert over Kraft this week.
I still have Kraft higher. I think that's going to be a high scoring game between Green Bay and Pittsburgh. Number one, like you said, Rodgers, the petty MFer that he is. And I think there's kind of the reverse of that as well, in that Jordan Love wants to be able to show, yeah, y'all made the right call pivoting to me when Rodgers is still capable of doing this. And that offense, that passing offense correctly flows through Tucker Kraft. And Pittsburgh's a bad defense. Minkah Fitzpatrick is down now, right? No, he's with the Dolphins now. One of their corners, anyhow. Doesn't really matter. The point being, Pittsburgh's a bad defense now. People are used to, it's JJ Watt's there and everything else. He's kind of the only one left. Like, he's kind of Trey Hendrickson in Cincinnati now, where he's looking around going, you guys going to help me or what? Yeah. So give me Tucker Kraft. I think both make for good options. Don't get me wrong, but I just have Tucker Kraft higher because he has that Kittle-esque ceiling to him.
Well, I've got Kraft at 3. I've got Goedert at 5. So same tier. I mean, they're right there together. We got Doug Royer over on Facebook. What is up, Mr. Doug? Good to see you, buddy. Always a pleasure to see you tuning in. You can check me and his daughter Casey out every Thursday at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, 1 p.m. Eastern, for our wonderful Optimus Fantasy Show. Next up over on YouTube, Lou, we've got Aaron Hudson, 4705. Full PPR league. Start Dak Prescott, Bo Nix, or Daniel Jones. It's also got CeeDee Lamb at wide receiver. It's hard to sit Dak, but thinking of dimes because of the matchup. If I didn't have CD for the stack, I probably would go Daniel Jones, but I like the idea of stacking Dak and Lamb to kind of double up on that touchdown wonderfulness. I'm still going to go dimes. How about you, Lou?
I'm not starting Dimes in this situation. And as odd as it sounds, it's because they're playing Tennessee, and we're talking game script here. Jonathan Taylor could have 200 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns by halftime, and they just never pass the ball again. Dimes sits the entire fourth quarter for, I don't even know, Riley Leonard or whoever their backup is right now.
Riley Leonard.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just, I like Jones this week. Don't get me wrong. I have all 3 of these guys in the same tier. I still have Dak highest, mostly because I trust him more. He's performed well, even against really good defenses or teams we thought had really good defenses already this season. I'm not moving off of that until someone makes me move off of that. And between Lamb, Pickens, and Ferguson, I think they have enough answers in the passing game that he's still going to be good enough at that. And I think Jones is fine. Again, matchup dependent. And I cannot trust Nick's week to week. I understand he was QB1 last week. That was such a fluky, out of left field sort of thing. Don't bet on that unless you are absolutely backed into a corner, and you're clearly not.
No, he had all of his points in the fourth quarter. Like, look, I'm a Broncos fan here. It was bizarre. You can't start Bo Nix. He's too streaky. I don't trust this offense. That's why I'm worried about this game today, man. We got JKeef420 over on YouTube. The Steelers will also have Calvin Austin back for the first time since week 4. And when he had both DK and Calvin Austin, he was balling, which is true. And having Calvin Austin back matters. I don't know that it tilts the needle that much for me. Now, this is just an interesting one I want to toss out here from Barely Fantasy. According to Jay Glazer, the Cowboys called asking about Max Crosby and Trey Hendrickson. The Raiders and Bengals told the Cowboys to kick rocks, and that sounds about right. Look,
if only
dude,
they had a great pass rusher in-house that they could have.
I know, right?
Leaned on somehow. If only. Oh, Jarrett.
We got Killy for Y123 over on Twitch. Love the avatar, by the way. I'm giving away Chris Olave, Kyron Williams, and Kyle Monangai for Patrick Mahomes, Jameson Williams, and Ricky Pearsall. My team is currently Matthew Stafford, Jahmyr Gibbs, Chase Brown, CeeDee Lamb, Rashee Rice, Cortland Sutton. He also has Gadsden, which is, wow. Yeah. You know, I think this is a good deal for you. Knowing Pearsall might not be startable for another couple weeks with the injuries. We don't know when he's coming back, if he even does, but you're getting Patrick Mahomes. And even all the stuff I said about the Chiefs earlier, that doesn't change the fact that Patrick Mahomes has been QB1 for most of the season because he's rushing and he's running and they have no running game and he's the one who has to do it. So getting Mahomes is huge here. I love it. I think it's a good deal.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, I really like Chris Olave and Kyron Williams. Like, they have great high floors, you know, and you love to see it and everything like that. I mean, Mahomes is, think what you want about him. I certainly have my thoughts. He's performing, top tier this year. Can't really fault it. I do think we see his rushing decrease now that he's got his weapons back, simply because he doesn't need to. And JMO is what he is. He's the filet mignon of Gabe Davis's, if you will, and that, going to put zeros when you have him in the lineup, blow up on your bench until you flip them and everything like that. But his blow ups they are blow ups, man. Obviously, we don't know what your bench looks like, that sort of thing. So this might be a sacrifice of depth. Oh, here we go.
Yep, he just tossed this in here. Running back depth is Jahmyr Gibbs, Chase Brown, Bill Krosky Merritt, and Kamani Vidal. That's a pretty good, right?
Yeah, like it's gonna suck when Gibbs has his bye, but that's about it.
Yeah, no, you're in good shape, man. And Kamani Vidal, can we say we were a little wrong about that? He's gonna see volume as long as Omari and Hampton's out. So Vidal's a guy that's worth rostering at this point. I really would. I'm gonna be getting some Vidal this week. Want to toss this one out here.
Okay.
Drake London is out, Lou, for week 8. So yeah, good luck, Kirk Cousins. Have fun throwing 2 checks notes. Kadarrell Hodge. Yeah, and Njoku's active though, so that's some good news. And Joe, pretty much. Yeah, no Drake London, not great news. That's going to be interesting. this is a Bijan game and a Tyler Algier game. If you've got Tyler Algier, this would be a good time to start him in your flex. This could be a multiple touchdown game for him, especially if this team is up in the second half. We're going to see a lot of Algier. Bijan Robinson, I mean, I would peg him now for probably 12 to 14 targets. I bet you he gets 10 catches, north of 100 yards. Wouldn't be surprised to see him have a rushing touchdown and a receiving touchdown. We have got Breece Hall and Mason Taylor both active, so that's good news for the Jets and for Justin Fields. Mason Taylor, how do you feel about starting him now, knowing there's no Garrett Wilson and the other receivers in this offense are people that no one even knows their names, and Josh Reynolds is on IR, so he will not be playing today as well.
You can't make me care about Jets this week or any week really going forward until Garrett Wilson comes back. I like Mason Taylor. I think he is a good player. I think the Jets quarterbacks are bad, just full stop bad. Mm-hmm. I hope Justin Fields can turn it around because when teams play well on offense, they're interesting to watch, and I want to be able to watch interesting football. Yep. And he just hasn't. I don't expect that he will suddenly, have this 180 and be super confident in his throws and get the ball out quickly and everything like that. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm not counting on it, in short.
Yeah. Mason Taylor's all right for me. I'll start Mason Taylor in a pinch.
Over who, though?
Like I said, in a pinch. Joe wants to know, Lou, with that news, Waddle, Wandale, Pickens, or Diggs. Sit one of those four. I'm sitting Jalen Waddle this week and every week. Tua can't see him. Why would I start him?
Oh my God, Tua can't see him. I still can't believe he said that out loud.
I can't either.
How is that a thing that you say out loud? Like, on the Anthony Richardson scale of I was tired, so I took myself out, where does that fall on that scale of I'm too short, I can't see over my line?
I think that's worse, honestly, because you're literally telling the defense, if you just play big, I'm screwed.
And you're a second contract quarterback. Anthony Richardson is like, you came out of college with all the pedigree in the world. Anthony Richardson was a known project. Like, this was something we knew, okay, he needs time to mature, he needs time on task, all these different things, right?
Yep.
Oh my God. Anyhow. Yeah.
Yep. Pickens,
Diggs, Wandale. I like them all over Waddle this week. I think Waddle has a decent floor because of, again, he's the only show left in town, and I don't trust the Dolphins at all.
No. God, no. Okay, some news coming in here from our wonderful news desk manager, Carly Manger. DeAndre Swift, Dalton Kincaid, Tyler Algier are all active as well. Lou and I are both sitting here staring at this preliminary actives, inactives, players we know are going to be out. We've just been looking at it all morning. She's letting us know what is and what isn't now as official reports are coming out here. So this reminds me of, go ahead.
Well, hold on. You can all follow along with her reports. Yes. She is on top of her stuff. She prides herself on getting it out first on Blue Sky. I know there's a new handle, Nate, if you can help me out with that. But she is
I'm gonna put it up
so
here.
Good. Like, fastest out there and on top of it. She's so on top of it. I actually built my injury manager to prioritize her reporting over everything else, even official injury reports.
Yep. Check us out on Blue Sky at news.optimusfantasy.com. That's news.optimusfantasy.com. And I'm going to be honest, this is how I stay up on a lot of the injury news, is following along with that account. And if you head over to optimusfantasy.com, you will see that as a ticker at the top of the page. So every time you go over there, you can get the latest news. DeAndre Swift. So we were at that beer garden last night, and you have to stand in line to get a beer. They don't wait on you or anything. It's just like a queue line. And I'm listening to these two guys argue about fantasy football. Now I'm sitting there kind of chuckling about it because, we do what we do. Here's the conversation, Lou, and I want to get your thoughts on this. I went back to the table, threw it out to the table. We all agreed. DeAndre Swift or Xavier Worthy in PPR, which one would you rather have as a possible flex play rest of season? DeAndre Swift or Xavier Worthy?
DeAndre Swift, and it's not close. Like it's genuinely not close. And as Barely Fantasy will tell you, our good friend Evan Sather there, I am a known DeAndre Swift hater. Like this is, if I have a flag to plant, that is it. And that's more to do with his actual running back abilities than it is his fantasy production. But still, so yeah, give me DeAndre Swift. I'm going to sleep easily at night knowing that I don't have to rely on that weird Kansas City offense. We've been calling like the Denver offense weird. Kansas City's offense is just as weird.
It's weird. They're just more efficient. Yep, and This is very true. And I've been saying this since last season. Xavier Worthy is fool's gold in that Chiefs offense. It's the same thing every year since they moved on from Tyreek Hill. Who's the next Tyreek Hill in this offense? Who's the next Tyreek Hill in this offense? The first fast guy that comes in, Sky Moore. That one really got me. Sky Moore is the next Tyreek Hill.
Mecole Hardman, he was the first.
Mecole Hardman was the first, and it was Sky Moore. Now it was supposed to be Xavier Worthy. These guys are fast. Xavier Worthy's blazing fast. I think he had the fastest 40 time at the combine ever. Yeah, fastest 40 time ever. But what people don't tend to realize is that very rarely do these elite speed guys who are running these ridiculous 40s at the combine, that speed doesn't translate to gameplay. That's not game speed for them. Yeah, in a flat field with no competition, you can just go. Yep. But most of these guys are never going to see that speed on the field.
Well, and I don't think people understand how much of a unicorn Tyreek Hill actually is. Like, because he has that speed. Obviously, first and foremost. Number one, it's a deceptive speed. You watch him, the way he runs, and he doesn't look like he's running as fast as he actually is. He just goes. Number two, his release package, both at the line of scrimmage and then at the top of his routes as well, at the top of his stem, is and has always been elite. He loses guys everywhere, absolutely everywhere, in every phase of the route. And as an additional layer to that, he is devastating at the catch point. When was the last time you saw him lose a contested catch? It's rare enough that when he does, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe he didn't come down with that.
Yep.
This is who Tyreek Hill is. He's Steve Smith from the Panthers. I don't know if many of our watchers remember him, but he's the smaller wide receiver who is so good in the air and at the catch point and has such strong hands. And then on top of that, he is a great route runner and devastatingly fast. That is a unicorn combination. And that's what has made Tyreek Hill special throughout his career, not his speed. That is not the primary element to his game. It makes the rest of his game that much more dangerous.
Well, the thing, players like Tyreek Hill, you don't see players, like you said, he's a unicorn. The last one I can really remember that was anything like him is Rocket Ishmael out of Notre Dame. And that was 35 years ago. He's coming out in the early 90s. He had that same unique combination of elite speed. He could accelerate and cut. And what Tyreek Hill does well, and Ishmael was probably just too early. Like, he comes into the NFL in this era, and he's probably a perennial All-Pro. We're talking about the Hall of Fame for Rocket. But what I think Tyreek Hill does the best is you watch him in traffic, right? He gets into these situations when he's in the middle of a bunch of traffic, and that's why he's so good over the middle of the field, because he gets there, and his footwork is so good, and he's so fast in these lanes, and he cuts so quickly, and he gets himself to the open field where he can then accelerate, and you have no chance of catching him. But a lot of guys, like Xavier Worthy, isn't as good at getting to that open field. He has to have it already. He can't manufacture it. And that's the difference. Tyreek Hill could manufacture space and get into the end zone. These other guys, I mean, that's a rare trait. You don't see a lot of people who can do that. All right, we actually have some questions in the chat I want to get to, but this is a really good conversation. J Key 420, he's looking for a streaming tight end this week. Schultz with no Nico Collins, Cade with no Bucky or Godwin, or Goedert with no A.J. Brown. It's crazy you could stream Goedert in your league this week. I'd go Goedert first, and if you miss out on Goedert, grab Cade Otton, and if you don't get Cade Otton, then Schultz is fine too.
I just looked because I was like, I don't know who I have higher here. I have them in the same tier, and Goedert 8, Otton 9. My gut instinct is to say Otten. But yeah, with no Brown, I think you have to go Goedert here. I do think Otten is better rest of season though. So if you're been playing that tight end game and you're looking for someone that you can just kind of plug in and be okay with, I do think Otten is that guy rest of season.
He does have Goedert and Otten, I have Goedert and both Otten and Schultz are on waivers. If you've already got Goedert, start him, but go get Otten on waivers if you have the space and see what he does rest of season. He could be huge for you. We've got It's Okay to Laugh 1 over on YouTube. Notice that YouTube isn't showing it's showing the handles instead of just the username, which is interesting. Today, at least. Dalton Kincaid or Dalton Schultz. Which Dalton are you going with today in full PPR?
Yeah, I'm going with Kincaid, and I don't think it's close.
It's not. I'm going Kincaid as well. Dalton Schultz is fine. I don't like Houston, though. I don't like their line. And even with Nico Collins out, who knows what's going to hit. I have to start him a few places, but I'm not happy about it. It is what it is. Yeah. And yes, barely, Mr. Evan, are we in an era of football where there are too many people working for NFL teams who don't understand that speed isn't everything? Do y'all remember Joey Galloway?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Joey Galloway was great. His problem was he was all speed and no footwork. So if he wasn't in the open field to make the catch, there was no yards after the catch for him. The thing was he did have elite hands. He just couldn't move in traffic. J. Keefe 420
back in an era when it was all traffic.
It was all traffic. Oh no, that was a mess. But he was fun to watch on those Seattle teams.
Oh, yeah.
Him and Matt Hasselbeck. Yeah. Jay Keefe, how do we feel about Darnell Mooney with no Drake London in the lineup for Atlanta? He's banged up. But of the receiving options that exist, he is one of them in Atlanta. Yep. And this is true.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a perfect
example, John.
Perfect pull, Jay Keefe. So I'm going to go back to the Darnell Mooney and what we were talking about. Miami's terrible. They're terrible. They can't defend the run, specifically the runs on the edges. And that's literally Atlanta's whole rushing offensive philosophy is outside zone runs, stressing the edges, and allowing their excellent running backs to find the cutback lanes, get upfield after stressing the edge. And that is simply what Miami cannot defend. I don't suspect or I don't expect Atlanta to want to pass the ball much or try to, given number one, this is Kirk Cousins starting. Number two, no Drake London. Like Nate mentioned, Darnell Mooney himself has been banged up. Like, why put stress on the weakest part of your offense that probably matches up better or that matches up worse than the strongest part of your offense that matches up so well against what Miami cannot defend?
Yeah. If he wasn't banged up, I like Darnell Mooney. I think he's a great wide receiver too. He's not a wide receiver one. We thought he was going to be a wide receiver one in Chicago for a while. That was dumb of me. Whoops.
Did we? Oh, you did. Okay. Yeah. Well,
I did.
We all miss sometimes.
Yeah. Hey, I loved LaVisca Chenault. We all miss.
Yeah.
But I think Mooney's one of those guys. If he's mostly healthy, which if he's going to play today, he's banged up. He's not going to be on any sort of like limited work, anything like that. With Kirk Cousins at quarterback, I think he's fine. He's probably a back-end wide receiver too in this situation, and I'm okay with that. I think he's startable. I don't love it, but I would start him if you need to. There are much worse options right now. And this decision, this is gross. Terry McLaurin or Ramondre Stevenson flex full PPR. I'm going to say Stevenson.
Who are the Patriots? They're playing Cleveland. Oof.
I know, but I still think that Ramondre Stevenson has a safer floor than Terry McLaurin.
I'm starting Terry McLaurin.
All right.
And I feel gross. I listen. This is not a strong recommendation here. Don't misunderstand me.
Right.
This is a best of a bad situation And please don't apologize, Jake Keefe. You are fine.
Yeah, no, keep coming, man. We love these questions.
Yeah. I'm starting Terry McLaurin mostly because of garbage time. Cleveland's defense is really, really good against the run. And I mean, Drake May's doing some special things there in New England. I kind of expect that to continue, even if the running game falters.
I was listening to something the other day where they called Drake May a mid quarterback, and it was like national radio something.
Of course it's national radio. They don't know what they're talking about. This is why you come to us, because we do.
Colin, I can't imagine looking at what Drake May has done this season, and not even from a fantasy perspective, just from a real football perspective, which is where our perspective starts. Yeah. Which I could rant about that for days. From a real NFL football perspective, what Drake May does on the field is special. He is a very talented quarterback, and he is someone who's going to be around for a long time. He's going to make this Patriots offense and defense and team as a whole relevant in the AFC East, unfortunately for your Bills. Over the next couple of seasons, as long as they continue to build, like I really do believe that Mike Vrabel is the coach who's going to get them back into the Super Bowl conversation again. I think he can do it. It's not pretty, because this offense isn't fun to watch necessarily, right? But it's what Vrabel does, and it works. It's the Belichick system. They're going to throw the ball plenty. It's going to be a grind on the run game. Trevion Henderson will get his eventually.
And here's the thing about Drake May, right? Is that what is he doing this with? Like, listen, he just beat the Bills, who have been the Goliath in the AFC East for 5 years now. Just like he beat them. And he's doing it with the shell of Stephon Diggs, Kayshon Boutte, Demario Douglas, a 70 billion-year-old Hunter Henry, and Ramondre Stevenson, who can't stop fumbling, and Trevion Henderson, who can't see the field. Like, dude, last week he completes 21 of 23 passes. How you say anything other than, okay, if you don't want to put him in your top 5 quarterbacks, that's fine. But how you say that he's not playing like a top 10 quarterback, at least right now, is ludicrous. He absolutely is. It's
ludicrous. So back to that McLaurin or Stevenson flex full PPR. Only options I have on waivers instead of Stevenson or McLaurin would be Khalil Shakir and Romeo Doubs. Would Doubs be better than either because of no Watson or Golden? No, maybe.
So here's my thing, right? So McLaurin plays Monday night, so you've got time to make this decision. I think if you want to wait on the late games to see if Watson and Golden get pulled out and are inactive for the game, even though they are expected to play, but we see late game window shenanigans all the time. Yep. So if you want to wait to make that decision, I think that's fine. Like I said, I lean McLaurin in that, unless you feel, okay, I want Stevenson so that way I've got it and get it over with. That's fine. I got nothing wrong with that. But if you wanted to wait to that late window to make that decision, I think you can.
Yeah, I think you can too. ZD's on Twitch, Lou. How do we feel about riding with the Falcons and Kirk Cousins over Miami?
Compared to what?
Yeah, that would be my question. Compared to what? I'm not just going to start Kirk Cousins over another quarterback who would you start Kirk Cousins over?
Actually, funny thing, not over anybody, apparently. Just looking at my rankings, he is my bottom ranked quarterback this week of the games yet to play. I have him just above Max Brosmer.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's where I've got him too. So, hey, that's fun. Max Brosmer. Boy, oh boy. We got this one here. Joe hates to ask, Kamara or Algier?
I don't hate to answer. I have Algier. He's my running back 21, and that was before the Drake London news. He's going to be moving up at least a few spots for me too.
Yep, same. Yeah, I have some updating to do before these games start here. I'm with you too. It's Algier over Kamara. I know. Here's what I don't think people are going to account for as we head into this game here. There's this guy who plays for the Saints. We haven't seen much of him this season, and he's a pesky little SOB, especially in fantasy. Goes by the name Taysom Hill, folks.
Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill. This this is going to get weird with Taysom Hill because with no Kendre Miller, you've got Alvin Kamara, who I don't think they really trust to have a ton of volume just because of age and health. He's not the same player he was. We're going to see some weird Taysom Hill usage today. Yeah, Taysom Thrill if he scores.
Taysom Thrill. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, it hurts so good.
if you're just like, I gotta have something, I need some random points, I gotta find someone on waivers, go get Taysom Hill. I'm not promising anything, but if you're really, this is a horrible week for buys, lots of injuries. If you need a flyer, I mean, he could have 1 point, he could have 21 points, he could have 41 points. You don't know with Taysom Hill.
Yeah, if you're sitting at 2-5 and like just doing everything you can to get back in it, and you've got a hole because of buys at, tight end or running, whatever Taysom Hill qualifies for in your league, Lord knows he could qualify as any of 17 different positions. Yeah, I mean, throw a flyer on him. It's running back is overall bleak this year, or this week. I mean, not this year. And wide receivers, not much. Not that I think you could start him as a wide receiver, but like running back and wide receiver are rough this week. Really, really rough.
Though it's not fun.
I could see
setting lineups has not been enjoyable this week. All right, Jay Keith, we're going to get to this one, Lou, and then we're going to get on our way because we got lineups to set too. Sutton, Swift, Ja'Cory Krosky, flex, full PPRs. Quarterback is Bo Nix. Can stack Sutton with Nix against Dallas. Bad pass defense. I'm going to roll out Sutton this week. Yeah. He's wide receiver 10 right now. He's had 2 really bad games, and he's still wide receiver 10. So I'm good with it. I love Cortland Sutton this week. You can toss him out there. And I toss him out over Swift and Bill Krosky-Merritt.
Yeah, I just looked. I didn't even really remember where I had him. I've got him as my wide receiver 7 right behind DeVonta Smith this week. And that was before I realized that Trayvon Diggs was out and being put on IR because, God, I didn't think the Cowboys' pass defense could get worse, but here it comes. It's this is it's going to be rough, man. And we know the Broncos are going to have to score points because Dallas is going to, whether it's through the air or on the ground, they're going to find a way to score points. And we know that Denver's going to have to keep up.
Yeah, I like Sutton a lot this week. By default, he'll be moving up to wide receiver 6 when I go in and adjust my rankings. All right, folks, thanks so much for tuning in. It's always a joy to have y'all around on Sunday mornings. We'll be back next Sunday to answer your start-sit questions. If we missed you, if we didn't get to your question here, and we're going to get to this last one just real quick, head on over to Discord. The link is in the show description. It's fantastic. We can get to your questions right up until kickoff. We're all going to be in there answering. Make sure you check that out, folks. It is always free. LU13 on Twitch wants to know, should he start Jalen Waddle or Tez Johnson at wide receiver? I'm starting Tez Johnson over Jalen Waddle. I've got Jalen Waddle back in the far back 30s at wide receiver. I don't know that he's even going to produce that this week.
Man, you've got Waddle way down there. I do have Waddle higher. I've got him just a 1 tier above Tez Johnson, even though Tez Johnson's right at the start of the next tier. Just because I do think that Waddle is going to see enough volume that he's going to have a slightly higher floor. So it depends a little bit on your matchup. If you need that 15 to 20 point ceiling, go with Tez Johnson. If you need 5, you have to have 5 points, go with Waddle. Just understand you're probably limited to that 5 to 10 point range. That Atlanta pass defense is better than it seems.
Yeah. Tua, man, come on, don't say dumb stuff at press conferences. Thanks, Joe Hammy. We are responsive in Discord. We much appreciate the recommendation, buddy. We love to hear it. We've got Jay Keefe. We are his go-to every Sunday. We appreciate that, man. Good luck to you as well. Hope your fantasy Sundays are successful, everyone. One more quick reminder, if we did not get to your question here, head over to Discord. Check out the channel, join. It is always free. Lou and I are always hanging out over there to answer your questions for any format, any type, any football questions. And we've got NBA bets popping in there too now. So go make yourself some money. And while you're at it, head over to tools.optimusfantasy.com. Get 4 months of 25% off all of our tools. The code is Optimus Fall. For Lou Brunson, I'm Nate Polvogt. Guys, thanks for spending your Sunday morning with us. Good luck, go win, and we'll see you on Monday.